Hello, you guys. Thank you once again. Hope you guys enjoyed the first segment of Streetlow Magazine's podcast, Lowrider Podcast. We had a lot to talk about, but we still have more to talk about. We didn't finish a lot. I mean, there's no way we could tell our story in 1 hour. It wasn't going to happen like that. So we decided to put another segment together and talk about still the beginning of Streetlow Magazine, how we began and stuff like that. Once again, my name is Gilbert Chavez, and this is the Lowrider Podcast. And my two cats that are here, well, cats or my guys that are here, perros, right? My dogs are here now. We got Malow and Tlecu.
What's up?
Once again.
Hello.
So, we left off at a lot of things. There was a lot of things unsaid about our beginning, our humble beginnings, I would say. Coming up, building the magazine, doing things. I know now I got the shades on, right? Trying to be all cool and shit. No, but so a lot of people want to know. Not that they want to know. We want to let you guys know. Our beginning, how we started. From the get-go, it was just a dream, putting things together with really no money, just a little bit of money we did have. We put it all into the magazine, and we continue to put money into the magazine. And people think that, we're balling out of control and stuff, but it's not like that. But
well, it's because of how the other corporate America, how they had their magazines, and so they knew that there was money, and then here we popped out. And it's like we were grassroots, but yet we made it happen. We made it look like, we were there, we were doing it, we were competing. Not even competing, we were on our own level. Right. We were doing our own thing, but because we were doing it and we were with those others that were at that level of money, the presumption was there that we had money.
Right.
Right. But we were just,
But that's a good perception. Because if we looked like we had the money, that means we were doing something productive.
Right.
And showing people what we were doing.
Well, that's what it was. We're making things look live too. When I thought, because I've been doing this for a long time, low riding for a long time, but in the beginning when we started, there wasn't too much attention up north. Up north there was no attention to us. There was really, everything was everywhere else but here, and it was kind of like, I want to say dying out, but it wasn't dying out because we were still living it. But there was no media covering us anymore. There was no, unless they came out and did a show out here, that's the only way they were going to cover anything in Northern California or give love to Northern California. So that was my whole get down to kind of like pick Northern California back up and show the picnics, the gatherings, and all that stuff. So it was kind of a cool thing that I was trying to do, what we're trying to do, and bring back like an actual light to Northern California. But at the same time, gap the bridge between Southern California and Northern California. So, going out to Southern California, doing the shoots, going out there to it was crazy because we're going into territories that, we weren't familiar with, but we were, because when we walked in, they were like, we're lowriders too. This is what we love, man. So we didn't walk in as, oh my God, we're somewhere different. We're kind of like, are we going to get jumped, or they're going to say something to us, or we're in the wrong place? But I'm going to tell you, man, Southern California opened up their arms for us too, man. And it was a beautiful thing to go out there and be part of Southern California too. So the magazine was based to create unity between two sides, Northern California and Southern California. And it was, and even the Central Valley, which, we started also traveling through the Central Valley, the Central Coast, Ventura, Santa Maria, Visalia, Fresno, Bakersfield, just going through different areas, same with Sacramento. But to see the love of lowriders, man, get together and do their thing. We walked in there like we were part of the party already. So we were just invited to go out there and actually feature a lot of these clubs and stuff that they weren't being featured. We were, how can I say, we were the FaceTime, Facebook, sorry, FaceTime, right? Facebook and the YouTube and the media that wasn't out there. We were the in paper. So that was the beautiful thing about creating the magazine is to do something like that, but to also introduce Northern California to the world. That was really what I wanted to do.
Yeah, and that was what I spoke about last time about the respect that was given just from the name of Streetlow, going down there and a lot of the Southern brothers out there, and they're like, where are you from, and then I was like, oh, Streetlow Magazine, and right away, like I said, they just opened up their arms and
right.
And at that time, they gave me the beer. I was I was always drunk at car shows, man. Like,
we were young, man. We were 25, 26 years old. We were kids running around. That was the beauty of what we were doing. But going back to when I started the magazine, or when we started the magazine, I want to say, my vision in the beginning wasn't to take over anything. It was just to open up a new door, a new avenue for lowriders that didn't have that type of love, cars that were on the street that were really lowriding, that weren't weekend riders, or they weren't how can I say, only car showed cars. A lot of these cars during that time, even during my time, I mean, I drove my car every day. I went to work in it, went to school in it. So it was my daily driver till it got to a point where I had to really travel and I couldn't take my car everywhere like that. But, that's what I wanted to cover. I wanted to make sure that they got that kind of love. The lowriders got that kind of love where, you don't have to be a turntable car. You don't have to belong to a prestige car club. You could be a solo rider. You could be a guy building your car at the time. That's why, we were like, okay, we got to build a magazine for the people. It wasn't too much for the car shows. It was for the people. And to this day, that's kind of like what, I want to continue to do. Open up these events, these car shows. I want to talk about car shows before I forget. We had to change our date. I'm so sorry, guys, man. We had to change our date again. This time for sure is October 27th. I know probably people are like, what the hell? Nah, I'm not going, whatever. But I hope you guys do. It's October 27th. We have a lot of good stuff. We have good entertainment that we're working on right now. Hope to see you guys all there. And sorry. If you pre-registered, that will work for that date. If you guys want your refund, let me know. We'll be glad to give your money back. We just want to make sure that you guys have fun.
Registration's on the website.
Yes. Everything, it's on the website. Everything got changed. Like I said, I'm so sorry, but it's this date or nothing right now at the point. Next year and the years to come, we're setting up a solid dates where our dates are going to be, and they're not going to change anymore. From next year on, they're going to be completely solid. It's something that we're working on. It's a little bit complicated, but thank God that we're working on it and everything's working fine right now. But going back to car shows and stuff, we went around doing all these events and covering people's events and even little events at the time, right? I mean, even when Tyrone was grabbing some of these events, we were shooting. It could have been an event of like 12, 13 cars,
right.
But we were making it look like it was 100 cars, and it was banging, jamming, and people were everywhere. That, I think, created a movement because more cars started coming out, more people wanted to be involved, and that was the thing. That was our thing, was to make sure that we weren't gonna fade away. We were just it's a car culture that's just gonna fade away. And during the time that we started, Lowrider Magazine had sold themselves. They had sold the magazine over to a corporation, and I didn't know anything about that. I think everything fell in place. They sold themselves. I think it went 98.
98, yeah.
So 98, they sold themselves in 98. We pushed out the first issue, and that, to me, was like, it's like a calling, or I mean, it was crazy, but we were able to do it. And
well, that's like like you said, everything happens for a reason, right? And so, as stated, how you were doing this to make it look like a yearbook, and that's what our book was. And so when the issues were being pushed out and people were looking at it and be like, oh man, we just put pictures, and, we put everybody in there. So everybody wanted to be a part of it. It's kind of like same thing that what Teen Angel did, right? Because I remember back in the day, everybody want their body up in Teen Angel, and so you kind of followed that format, right? So it was like boom, and so everybody wanted to be up. Hey, then after we take the picture, I remember taking groups, and they'd be like, okay, when's it gonna come out? When's it coming out? I'm just like, just keep looking for it, man. It'll be,
right. Well, distribution was tough too, because when we started our distribution, I did a lot of studying. And when we like I said, when we first even started the magazine, we kind of like I kind of dissect a lot of magazines. When we started putting it together and adding what we kind of like to the magazine, hoping that the rest of the world would love what we put together, as far as like Tiempos Pasados and Mailbox and poems and arte, and this is stuff that we all like. We all like this, so it's kind of like, we're going to create a book that people want to see, because there's something in the book that you're going to want to see. Even Cultura. We had music to write to, thanks to Pauly Cardenas.
Streetlow Times.
Streetlow Times. So there was a lot of things we were adding to the book to make sure that the book was just something for the people,
Quinceañeras,
weddings, yeah, so much. And, and we continue to like I said, hopefully we got this next issue we're publishing. We're going to be publishing. We're working on right now. It's taking us a little longer, but we're gonna get it out. We're gonna get it out for sure.
What it was is that that we are accessible, right? Like you can actually go to a show, you can see Gilbert and be like, yo, what's up, Gilbert? Talk with them, and people would give out their ideas, and then Gilbert would listen, and
right.
He's like, okay, if this is what my people are asking for, if this is what they're asking for, then you got to deliver.
Right.
Right. Same thing with any of us. You can approach us and talk with us, and we're lowriders. We're just like everybody else. It's just I guess we were just given this task to continue this lifestyle and present it in a way that that was lost. Because you looked at Lowrider Magazine in the old days, the original one, Sunny Madrid era,
right?
And it's like we're pretty much copying that format because that's what's worked.
Right. Well, that's who we are. And that was kind of like the reason why I looked at that book, and I looked at other books too that had other things in it that took from that book at one time. But it's just amazing to create something that people love. Because in the beginning I was just like, oh my God, ain't nobody gonna like this. I was embarrassed.
We're black and white in the beginning.
Yeah. No, and it was embarrassing because like, oh, Gilbert, whatever, publisher, whatever. But it's work. It's a lot of work, and I think we made it look very, very easy for a lot of people. But the good thing is that we got to have fun with it too, because it was no corporate. We're just a bunch of kids putting this book together, and a
lot of fun. We had a lot of fun.
Right. So to me, it was like it's kids putting a book together for the kids, because the older guys out there were like, oh, these guys got young girls there, and I'm like, no, man, we're not young girls. They're like 18, 19. We're only 25.
Yeah.
So to us, they're not that young, but I mean, they're young because we're young. So we had that kind of that look that people were always talking about. Oh, Streetlow Magazine has all these young girls. They're bringing little girls. We never brought little girls. Never, you guys, that was shame on you for saying that, man. Whoever said that, because just people hating on us because they, the fact is that we were out there, we were young. We brought younger girls around us because that was who we were. Now that we're older, we changed it a little, but I think everything changes with time too. Even our car shows have changed a little bit. The music has changed a little bit, but everything changes. So, but it was kind of tough at the times to hear people say that, and a lot of people that used to help us out too, they're the ones that really talked about that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, they're doing this just to throw dirt on us, or they would say something bad just to throw dirt on us. So that's why they're not with us no more. So you have to understand, people out there are like talking about us. I mean, good. Talk all you want. You're promoting the shit out of us. That's good. Whether it's good or bad, because once you know who we really are, you will understand what we really stand for. And that's why I got these two guys in front of me here that have been with me for over 20 years. So that tells you something, you know. And these guys are solid cats, man. These are really solid people, man. The other guys out there running around doing their thing, you know, good. But, you know, what's crazy is that you were brought up on Streetlow. You know, that's another thing that's kind of crazy to me. You know, I listen to older guys saying, oh, man, I grew up on Streetlow.
Yep.
And I'm like, shit, don't make me feel hella old, man. But yeah, you know, they say they grew up on Streetlow. And to me, that's amazing, man. Because we helped that generation, you know.
Yep.
Because if they grew up to Streetlow or grew up, you know, from Streetlow, I mean, could you imagine if we weren't here?
Right.
What other book or magazine would they have been looking at to see this lifestyle, you know?
Well, that's where you know, like you made that point, and it just goes to show that, you know, the impact that, you know, that this magazine has made for many lives, you know, not just us, but also throughout the world, because you know, we did go international. You know, you got correspondents from Germany, Tokyo, you know, Japan, Australia, you know,
Netherlands.
Netherlands, right?
Yeah, because he was designing. So, you know, Tyrone got to see all that. You guys both got to see all that. There was pictures that were coming in from everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, we weren't there, but I know our spirits were, because these guys were actually shooting and bringing it, sending it to us.
And they were loving to, like, can we be part of Streetlow? Can we contribute? Can we
Right.
help out in any way? And I mean, when we did that one issue with the Netherlands, I met the photographer there, and he connected with the car clubs out there. And then, you know, that's the things that's just really made it so special.
And being able to travel too. That's another thing. I mean, we were young, we got to travel throughout the United States. Like, we even traveled into Mexico, you know, covering shows, being around. You know, we even got to a point where we filmed a show called Let Me Ride, man. And hopefully one day we'll be able to show it online. We did almost 4 years of recording, man. A lot of recording. And there were some episodes that were actually built, and I got to walk into a studio in Hollywood. It was oh my God, it was
Warner?
No, it wasn't Warner. It was oh my God, I even have it on my phone. Oh my God, Discovery.
Right, yeah.
It was Discovery. We signed papers and everything. I mean, it was a set deal, man. I was all excited. We were going to do this, man, and they shelved us. I think we were a little bit, I think, too strong and too powerful for them.
We're too brown.
Too brown. That was one thing, too. We were too brown for them because they were trying to change everybody. The more we recorded, the more they wanted to change. You know, they went from too dark to little lighter to, like, can you get rid of everybody and just use, and I was like, no, it's not going to happen, man. You know, when we were filming, it was the actual crew. It was the actual crew that we were filming. And so even the guy, the film crew, they were like tripping out, because it was some of the guys that worked with Duck Dynasty and what's the other show? Something Pump Rules. Remember that one show?
I don't remember.
Something Pump Rules. I don't know. It was a couple of shows that were actually filming, and they were actually their writers and all that stuff that started filming us. And when we fly out to certain places, they would be like, so you guys all know each other? I'm like, yeah. He goes, wow, when we film like actual segments for a reality show, nobody knows each other, like kind of like actors and stuff. I'm like, well, we're not actors, man. This is the real deal you're getting from us. We are real. There's nothing fake about this whole crew. This is that guy designs, he holds the door down. He's taking pictures. He's climbing up ladders, taking pictures. Like, we are a one-man crew, because, you know, and that's what I think has built us to who we are and what we are, you know, and the characters who we are. Yeah. And, you know, that's just been a fun thing, man. I mean,
and getting back to it about SoCal, you know, one of the key components to our team was Art Patino.
Art Patino was a good guy.
You know, rest in peace. He's no longer here.
Right.
But his spirit's here, you know, right here.
Oh, yeah. No, shoot. I could tell some stories about that. When when we first had started, like I said, I mean, we didn't have that kind of money coming out of us where people, like I said, he thought that we were, but we were driving old cars. We were driving a 6'4" wagon down to L.A. Yeah. No AC, all the windows down. It was hot as shit. We're driving all the way out there.
Remember we broke down?
Yeah.
And then Arturo, your cousin, you guys had to go.
Well, that was on the way back. That was on the way back on a 62 wagon.
Yeah.
Our carburetor went bad. And
you had to rebuild it right there.
Yeah, but he didn't want to do it till the next morning. So we had to fall asleep on a bench. The next morning, we went into town, bought a kit, and he rebuilt it on the bench, put it back in the car, and we drove back home. But that's the kind of stuff we did as kids, man, because, I mean, our younger years during the publishing and going out there to events and stuff. But, I mean, we'd go out there. Art Patino, to me, he was like a cousin, brother, friend. I mean, he was really close to us. It's a shame that we lost him during COVID, you know. But he let me stay at his house. He let us stay at his house. He lived right on Long Beach, right on the
only shoot that I traveled with you guys.
We shot his car.
Yeah. and we were supposed to shoot a model. She didn't show up. Then he had another model. And then we ended up shooting her for one of our covers.
Right.
And that was the first time traveling with you guys. And it wasn't an old car, but I don't know what kind of car it was. It was just like 6 of us. And I'm like, bro.
It was a wagon. It was a wagon. 64
I was
wagon.
like, never doing this again. We literally drove and did the shoot. Within 24 hours, we came back home.
That was issue 39.
Like, oh, my gosh.
That was issue 39, right?
Issue 39.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. That was
no, not issue 39. That's issue. It was.
Oh no. We did the. His was the
41. Hoochie Mama.
Yeah, the
Hoochie Mama. Yeah. He would always call us nasty. You guys are nasty. You guys bring all these little girls. Look at your age. Look at our age, man. And then he was the first one with the camera, like looking around, like you know. But the cool thing about it is that we got to stay at his house on the beach. Seal Beach, right on the beach. Like literally, I could walk across.
And who was his neighbor? Remember, it was
Jesse James. Jesse James lived down the street, and then Carmen Diaz. She had a house also down the street because that's where her mom lived. It was a gated little community, but literally his house, and then there was a house in front of him that was on the sand. So we were like, there was a little alley. We just go around it, and we're literally on the beach, just chilling. We'd sit there and just. At night, just kick it and, you know, smoke. But, you know, not that we were trying to, but, we would smoke back then and kind of get good ideas of doing things. But then we'd go back to his house and chill and then wake up all sticky and shit because we were right in the ocean. You know, you wake up sticky. And he always let us come to his home. I mean, it was always open arms, you know, and I could call him at 2, 3 in the morning, showing up. I'm calling him. He's like barely waking up. Like, oh my God.
I think that's what we did that day. I think we came up at an odd hour.
I used to do that all the time.
Yeah, because they're like, Gilbert, where we're gonna stay at? I got it.
Art's hooking it up. No, and it's funny. He's like, when are you getting here? Are you on a fucking wagon? What the hell? Are you on a fucking horses pulling you? What the hell? But it was funny because we're on our way, and we're getting everybody ready. And then but it was cool, man, because he gave us a place to stay, and that would have cost us money that we did not have. Yeah. And that I appreciate him a lot for that, you know. But going on, I mean, there was other people too. There was Crazy George too, another guy I met. And I think it was, I want to say issue 2. Issue 2, we released issue 2, and on the cover we had Frisco's Finest on the cover with the plaque, which says Frisco's Finest, and it said NorCal. So I wanted to release that issue to kind of show everybody, the world, that we're coming out of Northern California, you know, in peace, basically. But we wanted to show you where we were coming from. And it was kind of a trip because the guy that I talked to, man, I forget his name, man. I think it was George. I'm not too sure, but he was with Crazy George, but I forgot the other guy's name, the one that kind of connected me with George. He had called me up to go down to Southern California to a party that they were having. And at the time, my wife was pregnant with my first son. And we just rolled up in there in a minivan. We didn't care. I just rolled up in there. I forgot. Oh, Little George was with me too. Little George at the time. It was me, Little George, and my wife. And what was crazy about it, we went on a Saturday. Sunday, we had our very first car show that we did in Evergreen. The next day was the Evergreen car show. And it was like a boom, come back. But we went because I wanted to meet the viejitos. I wanted to know who they were. And as soon as I went in there, they like I said, their club is pretty cool. Yeah, I know. Look, I even have his plaque behind me, man. Where is it? Right there. He gave me his plaque. I mean, years ago, because he appreciate everything I was doing for Southern California as well. But before that, I like I said, we had met him the day at the party, and from that day on, he kind of tripped out. He's like, "Oh man, where you from?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm from San Jose." What part of LA? I don't know. No, that's San Jose, Northern California. He's like, "No man, Northern California? No way." He goes, "You got our style. Your style is my style." Like I go, "No man, you guys got our style." I was kind of messing with him. I'm like, "We're all the same, bro." I'm like, I mean, Northern, Southern, Eastern, Western, we're the same. We're lowriders, man. We're not in a different part of the United States or a different part of a barrio. We're not into the gang banging, bro. We're more into the cars, the car culture. This is what we love to do. And after that, man, I mean, we built a real close bond, man, where, this guy would take his shirt off his back, literally take his shirt off his back. And there was times that we drove out there in the wagon, the one you hate. We drove out there with no AC. We just drove out there, and we would go to Riverside because at the time he was staying in Riverside, and he was like, "Oh man, you can stay at my house. Yeah. I have this house you could stay at. It's nobody stays there. You guys can chill there." And he saw us driving up in the wagon. He's like, "Dude, does that thing even have AC?" But it was like 110. I go, "No, man." He's like, no. Take. He had a Navigator at the time. I think a Navigator.
Something like that, yeah, one of those.
Or Lincoln Navigator. He goes, "Oh, go ahead and take that." I'm like, "No, man." He goes, No. Take it, man. It has a full gas tank. AC blows really nice, man. Go do what you guys got to do and then come back. I'll see you guys later. And that's the kind of person he was, man. And he is, not was, but he still is. He's a good guy, man. And that was just another person we had ran into. And, we just kept going and meeting more and more people in Southern California that it was like kind of like our second home.
Yeah.
We were out there, I'd say about 50% of the time. Yeah. And that's why the book, if you look at the issues, all our issues are 50% Southern California and 50% Northern. And then in between, we're throwing in Texas or Arizona or Colorado or New Mexico, wherever we were at. Wherever we were at, we were actually mixing in North Carolina. We were always mixing something different in there because we wanted to make sure that at least Northern and Southern California got to see other places around the United States. And like I said, we got to travel.
That's how we did like some of the planning, right? So it was like we went to these car shows, and then they would fly. They'd be passing out flyers like, "Hey, here's our show," and then we'd come back with this, stack of flyers, and then we're like, "Okay, which ones are we going to come back to?" Right. You know what I mean? Right. And sometimes, sometimes George and I, little George, like, "Gilbert, we're going, man." Yeah. Me and George, we go and do our thing.
Yeah, because I mean, still to them, family, man. I got my kids, and at the time, you guys didn't have kids; they were just single, running around. I had my two sons at the time before my daughter popped out. But like I said, I try to spend as much time as I could with my kids, and my wife, she's the one that really quarterbacked a lot of them going out and taking them to Great America and stuff like that. There was times I couldn't make it, and she did it for me, which, I appreciate her a lot for stepping in for me at the times I wasn't. And, I mean, that's what made me push more toward what I wanted to do as a goal. Like, nobody could actually vision what we were doing, but I think we were doing it, and we didn't even know what we were doing either, I think. We were just pushing, going and traveling, and I mean, there was times where I was going down to Las Vegas with little George. We took off to Vegas, and we're driving the station wagon, man. This wagon is 6-cylinder banger. We're just driving this thing. We drove it to Vegas, from Vegas to Arizona to LA. We took like a whole week off. Mm. but we went to events and covered and trying to get advertisement and people to believe in us. But nobody, the big corporations, these guys, we want to talk to, they're giving their money to the wrong people, I think. But, because we were the future. We were the future of lowriding. We were the ones actually covering the real people. These guys that we were covering, the car culture we were covering, are the ones that actually bought your product. You wanted to cater to cars that you had to give your product to, because they're not going to buy your product. They want you to give it to them because the cars are prestige. Their cars are turntable cars, which is cool. I show love to them as well. But me, I'm like the underdog. I like the underdog, man. I'd rather, ride a car and be able to park it somewhere without worrying about somebody scratching it or, oh my God, you're going to do this. It's almost like saving money, and you keep saving money and you can't spend it because you're saving it for a rainy day.
Yeah. That's
what these cars are like. If you're building a car to save it because it's worth so much money and one day you might sell it, you might as well just sell it now and go buy yourself a Honda. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what to me that's kind of like what it is. And not to talk shit about everybody, but that's the way it's my own opinion. I'm not trying to like dog anybody out, but I think it's a beautiful thing to see these cars riding, man. And traveling and seeing these turntable cars too, man. Don't get me wrong. They got some badass shit out there too.
I think there's different levels, right? There's different, like at our car shows, we have different categories, right? I mean, but our book is for everybody. It's that's why it's called Streetlow.
Right.
It's for every car. Whether you're, rolling on just 13s and primered up and got some beat in it, or you're actually got some murals, or you're at as they call them, the trailer queens. I mean, we like them all because we all come in different shades.
Each car has its own story.
Yeah.
And the one thing that was very fortunate was that when we were in the beginning, I didn't travel as much because I had Mijo.
Right.
I was coaching the sports and stuff, but I was able to work with the magazine through the vision of you guys.
Right.
So I would take them to a few shows here and there, but at the same time, I was still seeing what was out there, what you guys were doing. So
it kept you up. It
kept me going. I mean, Monday through Friday, I was Streetlow after work.
Right.
Working on things because back in the days, I mean, that's another segment we could do. The stuff that Gilbert used to bring me all the time when he knocked on the door, and it's like people showing those big fat envelopes. Right. What are those? Are all the pictures that we took.
Right.
And we had to scan them.
Scan
you scan 400 or 500 photos, and I was like, that's going for a 3-page layout.
Yeah.
And those kind of things is the thing that I don't want to remember.
That was editing. Our editing was grabbing it. No, I don't like this picture. Yeah. No, I like that picture. Okay, I like that. That was funny. And then I'd take you the pictures, edit it. That was my editing. Then he would take up and scan and scan and scan and scan.
That's where the editing, I hated editing for so long because there were so many steps to creating the book.
Because digital cameras hasn't came out. They weren't out yet.
They weren't out yet.
It was film.
Everything was film.
And then we had to, I went to this place in San Mateo called Lithograph. Remember Lithograph? I used to go there with like 20 zips. Because we had a design on a zip.
Yeah, the zip drives
to do a printouts of the book.
I still got them there. I got stacks of them. I got so much
mock-ups.
archives. So the zips we'd go to Lithograph, drop them off, and then they would scan them. I mean, not scan them, but put them into their computer and give us film.
Yeah.
So then I got the film. I would have to go to the print shop and drop off the film because they didn't have the ability for that.
There were many steps.
Yeah, they had the computers. I mean, the machines to print the magazine, but they didn't have the film.
And that's where we were talking about last time was
it's crazy.
Everyone's they're taking advantage or not advantage, but they don't understand the heartache and how much sweat that we put into creating these books before digital.
Well, that's it's tough because like you said, we went through all this growing pains. This is stuff that we were learning as we were going. But it was even funnier because when Sonny Madrid came into our lives, he was telling me, man, you guys got it easy.
Yeah.
We used to take pictures of a picture to put it, and we have to lay out our own, and then take a picture of that to send that to get filled.
That's how Teen Angel used to do their books.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because when I started getting into digital, and then I talked to Teen Angel and said, "Hey, I got some covers," because I was very blessed that he gave me 5 front covers on Teen Angel magazine.
Right.
He gave me 5 front covers, and when I told them, I go, "Hey, I got digital files," I said, "Oh no, send me the original," because we take snapshots of the original, and then from the snapshots they do, like you're saying, Sonny, they do snapshots of the whole book.
You see, that to me, it's a part of our lives that we've lived to learn how to build an actual magazine from scratch, where now it's so easy and still so hard, but still it's a lot. The steps are easier. The work is still there.
It's the creating, because as we get older, we already know more.
Right.
So now we want to. We could still the storyline is still the same of what we want to envision for everybody, what people want to see. Because when we go to car shows, people are just not seeing the cars. People are seeing the cars, the bikes, the ranflas, the car clubs, the solo riders, the familia, the plaques, the models. There's a whole list of things that we're covering that we're trying to condense in a layout.
Well, that was our thing. We used to what was my main thing? Take pictures of plaques. Take pictures of plaques. We need the plaques. If we can't get the car club together, take pictures of plaques. Do this, do that. Just to get everybody involved. Take pictures of the people that are there. Take pictures of their kids. Because they're going to grow up and see this magazine and say, damn, that was me? Oh, shit, I was in diapers. I was in, or shit, look at that's me when I was skinny and I'm, 800 pounds or whatever, Okay. But it was a cool thing to see the development of that, to go out there and actually put a book together like that for the people, and to bring all that in. It was just that's why when people are like, oh, we're creating a magazine or call themselves magazines, it's kind of almost like a slap in our face, because we put the work in. For somebody to call himself a publisher, it's way beyond that. Yeah, you can't just you can't get a title, call yourself a publisher, and not understand the development of a magazine, the pound of paper, the style of paper, the design, the people it's going through.
Well, in the beginning phases, in the beginning, like the first 10, 12 years, you kept on going to different places to pick paper, to pick ink. To
I was buying paper.
It was like you were the one that were printing.
Yes. I was buying paper from a company
to take it to another place,
getting it shipped to the printer to get the cheaper price to get it printed. Right. And we were sheet fed at the time. Yeah. Then we started doing web press, web print, and then we kept going on. And we'll give it up to Mike Lowe. Mike Lowe was one of the our guys that brokered a lot of our printing, because man, it was tough in the beginning. People didn't understand us. Our books in the beginning was kind of shitty because they were like, oh, just show me the money, and I will print it. Here, backyard, open up the door, throw them in our trucks. That was another thing. I would go pick up the magazine, deliver it myself. I would go all the way to Sacramento, all the way to Visalia, all the way to Santa Maria, all the way to Los Angeles, all the way to San Diego. Yep. There was 4 or 5 distributions I used to go to and drop off this book. And it was to a point where, I even had my wife go with me. It was just me and her. I loaded up in the truck. I said, hey, you want to roll with me? And she's like, man, why not? This is when we had first got married. I was like, I'm driving all the way to Santa Maria. I got to go to Visalia, Santa Maria. And the cool thing, I'd drop it off, pick up a check, drop it off, pick up a check. And that check was the money that I was using to continue to print, to pay that printer, to pay the designers, to pay the development of the magazine. So it was a journey, definitely a journey. And I thank God, man. I thank God that we were able to do it, man. And I just kept my and I didn't know how I was going to do it at times, man. A lot of people don't understand, but there was times that I would pace up and down my house 2, 3 in the morning, figuring out how I was going to pay for this bill, how I was going to pay for that, how I was going to get the next issue out. And I would just, and nobody knows. I don't think I ever told you guys, man. But even my wife, I'd tell her, like, nobody. I didn't even let them know because I didn't want nobody to worry. But I'll be pacing back and forth, like, God, if you want me to continue, you got to like show me a sign because I'm going broke. I got no money. And boom, I'd go to the office. And boom, $25,000 check. I'm going, oh my God. But that was just the sales that were going. I mean, when we got picked up by RCS in Los Angeles, I went out there because I was distributing myself. And I said, I need to get a distributor. I need to find somebody that can help me push these books out. So I went out to Los Angeles, and I seen where Lowrider at the time were used to get distributed by.
Mm-hmm.
So I walked in there, and the man that was there, the main the owner of the distribution company, he was like, I talked to a guy named Mike Warner, and then Mike Warner, I met the owner from there, and I showed him one issue, which was our first issue. I'm like, oh my God, if you see the first issue, it's kind of like,
It's right behind you.
I don't even,
Right
yeah,
behind you.
right. No, but you got to see the inside. It's crazy.
That's the black and white.
Right. And it's funny because right away he's like, he wanted to meet me. When I met Mike Warner, he was one of the representatives for the distribution company. He was like, no, hold on. Kick back right here. I want you to meet somebody. So we introduced me to, God, man, I want to remember his name. John. His name was John something. I forgot, John Borden or something like that. I forgot his last name. So he introduced me to John. And when I met him, the first thing he's looking at me, and I'm walking into his office, and it kind of looked like our office. You know, it just hella stuff, all kinds of different magazines. And I was like, you know, he looks at me, he's like, this is your first issue? I go, yeah, this is my first issue. He goes, I want to see if I can get some kind of distribution through you. He's like, all right. He goes, could you have 10,000 of these done for next issue, number 2? And I was like, yeah. Shit, I don't know how I was going to do it. Oh, yeah, sure. No problem. We got it. So, yeah, we were able to. And he wanted me. So I ended up giving him all my distribution points so he could start dealing with them. He goes, from here on, you don't have to deal with them no more. The magazines will be shipped to us, and we will ship them out. They'll be fully distributed, and you'll get a check up front. Like, you're going to get your first check. So that's what motivated me even more. Like, okay, now we're getting checks. Okay, we're getting checks. Now these checks are going to be used to print and to pay the designing and keep a little bit of money for gas and stuff, you know, even though it wasn't that much. But we kept going and kept going. But yeah, those were sleepless nights, man. I mean, I had a lot of sleepless nights. But, you know, like I said, there is a God out there, man. And you know, I appreciate everything he did for me and for us to continue to do what we're doing to this day. But it's just a humble beginning for us, man, because, you know, a lot of people won't understand if you didn't live this life, you know, because it got easier and it got easier because they went from zips to CDs, right? Because it was still another development from, and then, you know,
SideQuest, DVDs.
Yeah. CDs, and the CDs, I had to take them to the distributor, mail them out.
Well, the zip drives, I think, were the worst because you used to have about 30 or 40 zips.
I still got them.
Yeah.
If right
No,
behind
but
me.
meaning for like that issue.
Right. It was about five zips for an issue, but it was a bunch of zips because it had all the other
you had
stuff.
multiple issues.
So it was about 4 or 5 zips, and that was a complete issue. And then we'd take them in, they would slap it in, and then give us the film. I take the film out, come back, and then what replaced that was the CDs, and it went. Well,
Then DVDs.
yeah, but then we didn't need no more film. They're like, bring
No,
us.
no, you know, that's when it went to DVDs because from DVDs they were able to take the digital files
and go directly.
and then from there, I started connecting straight with the print company,
Right.
and I started uploading the files.
That's what we went to direct it went direct to print.
Yes. So I still had to proof it because I had to upload each page and then go through each page, you know, with the crop marks, everything. Luckily, I was working for a print company at the time, so I was already familiar with production.
Well, not only that, was kept us up with the new technology because we I guess again we didn't have the kind of cash to buy these programs. These programs were expensive. I mean, we dished out the first time for the programs, but it was obsolete. Like 2-3 years later, we're like, oh shit! But the good thing is that you kept.
I kept up to date. Yeah,
you kept getting the programs because of where you work. We're like, okay, this is the source right here. This is the plug.
Yeah,
got the plug for all the stuff, you know.
Well, just like in anything, in videography, photography, graphics, I mean, you got to do your homework. You got to learn. Things change, things update. There's even quicker ways to do things. Makes it easier. I mean, I'm still not fully into the AI yet.
Right.
But I know AI helps in some ways, but AI has been around for more than 10, 15 years, so people just don't know it. People are just getting familiar with the name now.
Right.
But it's been around because there's been programs that were already AI generated back in the days, but just nobody knew what it was until they started putting out the label AI.
Right.
You know,
Well, nobody was using it till now. Like it got
my
popular.
company was using it.
Was it?
They were using it. I mean, unfortunately, some programs that they created were terminating employees because they're like, well, we don't need this 8-10 people. This program can take over and do the same thing in production. And we're like, okay, but I mean, but that still wasn't the reality check because if it didn't affect you,
right,
you didn't really see the difference. So when it comes to graphic designing and photography, I still want to try to keep it. I am a digital artist. I do editing in Photoshop, but I don't type it to do anything for me. I still don't do that because I still feel like I've been doing it for so long. I'm fine because I already adapted to how to do things, how to use the tools.
Right.
So
there you go, guys. That was Malow's interview for his job application. You guys, but you know, but that's what we've gone through. We've gone through a lot of different changes as we continue to grow.
A lot of adventures.
A lot of adventures.
We went,
like I said, I mean, it's just beginning.
You guys
creating, yeah.
Well, I was coaching. I was coaching soccer for 16 years, so my weekends definitely was busy with Mijo, but I enjoy it. I did have time to travel with you guys. Not as much. I don't think I've ever traveled in a bus.
No, not the Let Me Ride bus. No.
Even prior to that. Remember when we had?
Oh shoot, yeah, we used to get. Oh my God, there's just so much stuff we used to go through, man. We went to Texas one time. We did shows. It was at time. Oh my God, there was times that everybody wanted me to do all kinds of shows.
That was 2004. That was a 2004 tour.
Yeah, the Bomba tour. Yeah, that was one of a real good tour. It was
Flaco. Remember Homeboy Flaco hooked us up with
Flaco,
the RV.
Yep, RVs. Yeah,
we got
Dan's RV.
Yeah, that's what I remember. There was an RV before that, right?
Yeah. We got an RV. The guy gave us money. I mean, it was like heaven sent, man. We're like, hell yeah.
They sponsored it.
They sponsored the whole thing, man. Yeah. The whole tour, the whole year. I mean, that was fun.
Oh, I remember that.
That was fun. We went all the way to El Paso, Texas.
Oh,
that was crazy. It was. I think. Well, no, I took off by myself first because I had to get down there to set up everything.
Sure.
No, we did. Right.
I
had to set up the car show. Yeah. I had to set up the car show. I had to set up we had it at the El Paso Coliseum. And we had to set all that up, the radio station, everything. We had to set all that stuff up. And when I went out there, these guys, he was out there picking up all the models and all the staff in the RV.
I was going from town to town picking up. I first started here in San Jose. I said, all right, whoever's going to roll, meet me at my house or let's meet somewhere. I picked everybody up, and then we go down, and then went down to Chole, picked up Chole, and went down to a little town called Reedley, California. I was like, picked up a model there. Just going down, went down to Los Angeles, picked up Ricardo.
So by the time you got there, you had the bus full.
Oh, it was it was a party bus.
But the bad thing was that same day he was supposed to be at the radio station.
Yeah.
And I'm calling him like, where you guys at? Oh, we're like halfway. And finding out that these guys were stopping in the middle of a desert.
Taking
pictures, doing photo shoots and stuff.
I know that was Tlecu.
That was crazy.
If you go down 10, right, you're going down 10 into the Arizona. If you look to the right, there's like this big old red rock formations. And my mind was like, what would be dope? If we can get some pictures of these models. And sure enough, we
can make Gilbert stress even more and have a heart attack. By the time we get there, we're cool.
I mean, because we had the trailer, we had the trophies, we had everything in that trailer, and so
right. So they got there, and then when they got there, we parked in front of my cousin's. He had a duplex, and that place just turned into a party.
Oh,
it was
the
party
stories,
house.
man.
Oh, it was crazy, but that was a. We even had a bikini car wash out there.
That was wild.
Yeah, we did. I mean, we always did those. It was something. Well,
yeah,
it was a.
I mean,
Tlecu's
my whole thing, my whole thing, is wash
them cars.
I mean,
you wanted to make sure them cars were clean.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy women. You know, women are beautiful. They come in many facets. You know, and so my whole get up is, you know, or my whole thing was, hey man, let's create not controversy, but let's create like some excitement. And you know, unfortunately, you know, sex sells. You just can't sell sex. You know,
That's right.
And so, but
that's why we always got throwing the towel at us all the time.
Man.
People talking bad about us all the time. But like I said, they can talk all they want, but you know.
One thing though, everything was done on consent.
Yes.
I never coerced anybody to do something they didn't want to do. I made suggestions, and if they were with it, we rolled with it. And if they weren't, then okay, let's move on to something else.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But we had a crew of women that were like, oh, hey, that sounds like fun. Let's do it. And oh man, we were showstoppers. We were actual shows. Like, you remember over there in El Paso, we were doing car washes, right? I'm over there dumping water on the models, you know, just having fun. I mean, literally cars, like what's that?
And my cousin out there goes, they don't do this out here in El Paso.
Oh yes, they do.
Girls would never do that. And we had met those girls that became our models from El Paso. They went to Speaking Rock and that's where we met some of them right there. And they're like, oh, we want a model too. I'm like, hey, he joined the crew. And my cousin's like, oh no, these girls, you can't get them in a bikini. You can't even get them in shorts.
We even had one that came back with us.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, she lived in Visalia.
Yeah, she's
her
like,
mom lived in Visalia.
So she's like, all right, can you bring me back to Visalia? We're going that way anyways. Let's roll.
Yeah. And it was a crew. It was a cool crew of girls because they were very, very loyal to us as well. They did their thing, but you know, everything comes to an end. You know, they meet somebody, get married.
It always happens.
You know, but you know, again, it's just a good chapter of our lives, their lives, and you know, they go south, we go west, east, we go to another point of our lives that we will continue to do this.
Well, that's why I stated, you know, that Streetlow has actually made a lot of families. You know, like we had these models that come, and then all of a sudden because they're modeling, they meet someone, and then all of a sudden, hey, they started their family. You know,
right?
And it's the interaction. It's like, you know, we're you know, they come to us and we bring them out, show them different places. They get you know, they get opened up to these different areas, different people, and all of a sudden, hey, when the love bug hits you, it hits you.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, I was happy last year as I was covering events through the year. Actually, it was the beginning of this year. There was in San Jose, they had the New Year's cruise, and I took a photo of Jimmy from Viejitos and his son. And his son was hopping the car, and they didn't realize his dad was also behind him. Yeah. And when I posted that photograph, they're like, dude, you got 3 generations right there.
That's cool, yeah.
And then from there, I started going to some other events, and I started like, you know what? I'm going to do a generation shot, 3 generations. And all of a sudden, I started meeting people that had 3 generations, 4 generations in lowriding. Yeah. And I'm like, it's there. And it's just great to see the feedback from people because they're showing you how much lowriding has impacted everybody in the community.
Well, one thing with it, has gone on now is that it's more accepted now. Yes. But before, lowriding was, oh my God, you're a lowrider. Oh my God, you know, it's a bad thing to do, or you're a low life or whatever. But I think there's a lot more people accepting lowriders out there or being a lowrider. And not only that, I mean, it's became a very expensive way of life for us because
parts are not cheap.
Well, they're recognizing it now that it's not just something we're trying to do just to get in trouble or whatever.
No. It's value in our lifestyle. It's value of what we've done and stuff like that.
They just had I just saw in the news today, that they were showing Rick Tijuana Art.
Okay.
They were showing him that they were actually, I think, talking to some of the city of San Jose.
Right.
That they were going to do programs to teach teachers to talk about lowriding.
That's what's up.
Nice. And I saw that, and I was like...
And TJ Rick, he's a good cat. I mean, he came in here, he interviewed me. He's what our generation needs to be like. He's like a historian, believe it or not. He's out there creating and building and getting stuff out there. And that's, you know, my hat goes, you know, tap my hat out to him because he tip my hat out off to him because he is what a lot of people should be doing as far as like collecting and stuff. But this guy's really a historian for lowriding because he grew up on street low. He told me it was kind of a cool thing, man, to hear it from him as well. He's like, when I first started lowriding, this is my book. This is what I learned from.
He created the book, The ABC of Lowriding.
Yeah,
which was a little cartoon book which shows the ABC letters, of the alphabet.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a good book.
And maybe we'll have him one day out here talking about all that because, like I said, it's pretty cool what he's been doing. He's out there collecting history and putting it out there. Shout out to him, for doing what he's doing and continue to do what he's doing. It takes a lot of us to do this, So if you see somebody else out there doing their thing, don't hate on them, man. There's a lot of people out there hating on a lot of us and them and here and who, but you got to stop doing that. Just if you see somebody coming up doing something cool in the lowriding industry, trying to create history, trying to create memories, give them a shot. Because it takes a lot. It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of money and a lot of time. And if somebody's investing time into it and money into it, you guys got to give them the respect for doing it. But it's
we need more.
Yeah, we do. We
need more.
Instead of saying, "Oh my God," "Oh my God, they're doing it. Why is he doing that? Why is he doing this?" Like he thinks he's this, he thinks he's that. But it's not that nobody thinks anything. It's just if we're not, whoever's out there not stepping up to do it, it'll never be done. And like I said, we gotta get away. Tip my hat out to him for doing stuff like that.
We gotta get away from the crab effect.
Right. Right.
And
there's people out there hating on each other, and you got to stop that, man. You really got to stop that. There's no right, no wrong. They're saying, oh, these guys are taking, we're doing the shows better than these guys are doing shows, or we're doing a magazine better than they're doing a magazine, or our videos are better than their videos. I mean, it is what it is, but if you...
It's like what your cousin Art said, right?
Yeah.
There's a seat for every nalgas.
Right. People are going to hate us. People are going to like us. The cup of tea ain't for everybody, but I'm hoping that this podcast helps out a little bit more. And hopefully we're going to have more people on here to discuss the lifestyle, what they've done for us. And what I mean for us, I mean for all of you as well as myself. In the industry of lowriding, I want to interview people that have impacted lowriding as far as from these guys here designing a book for us to, put out into the world for you guys to see, where now it's a digital world and a video world and stuff. But I still think there's room for more printing. I think people should print, people that say, printing is dead, printing is this. You can't afford it, bro. That's just say it. You just can't afford to print, bro. I mean, don't put print down. And some of you guys aren't really, publishers, man. You guys don't know the facts and what it takes, the fundamental to create a magazine. Takes a lot of work and a lot of time, and we have that time and we have that pump to do it for the people. So don't put it down. Don't say, oh, printing is dead. Might be dead for some of you, but I guarantee you a lot of you out there would love to see print.
It's just expensive. That's all it is.
It's expensive. And if you can't afford it, it's better if you just, zip it up. And
like if you go somewhere, right? And Malow, someone wants a design and you give them the price. And I'm like, well, just say, hey, I can't afford it. Instead of just, putting you down, it's like, I can't afford it.
Right. Because you hear it and you hear people like, oh my, don't, we're the righteous ones. We're the ones that are doing it for you lowriders. And really, I think lowriders themselves are doing it for themselves. You don't have to go to a show to prove yourself to anybody. Shows are done for the people. We do it for you guys. Whether we make money, we don't, we're going to continue to do it. I've lost a lot of money doing it, and we made a little bit of money doing it, but we continue to do it because it's for the people.
Yep.
There's other people out there that their intention is to get where Lowrider Magazine was And I'm saying because where it was, because the guys that actually built it in the 70s and 80s, and I give Albert Lopez props too, man, because, if it wasn't for him, it wouldn't become such a worldwide publication. But now that it's been sold and refried, like Sonny Madrid told me, it's like a refried beans. You gotta keep refrying it, where doesn't the taste isn't there no more, man. Where you get the healthy frijoles de la olla. That's who we are, the frijoles de la olla. And now it's been so watered down that people are trying to live off that name that our ancestors, right? I would say lived to work to build it. The car show scenes, the magazine, they worked so hard to create this culture that we've lived. And at the time there was the only media was the magazine and the VHS tapes that you got to see. But other than that, there was nothing else out there. And now, they're using the name to exploit a lot of us. And a lot of people don't talk about it because nobody wants to talk about it. Everybody wants to, it's okay.
Well, that could be for like a whole nother segment.
Yeah, it could, but so to me, it's like it's just
it's got to be said, man.
It just got to be said, and to me, it's something that's very,
you got a wolf in sheep's clothing leading the sheep
right
to the slaughterhouse,
right.
And that slaughterhouse is our it's our money. That's what they're after,
right. Because and that's where I think that anybody that's low riding, anybody that's out there in the industry that's been doing it for so long, yeah, they should have a chance to do it. If they have a creative mind of creating some kind of a business, thing to, whether it's a show, whether it's a magazine, whether it's a CD, go for it, man. You should do it because you're part of this industry.
I don't want to get too deep into it, but in the past we've talked about that, of creating like a little hub where these little youngsters can come. We teach them how to do printing. We teach them how to do photography. Right. We teach them how to do all these things to where they can become the next generation to take us forward. We spoke about that. There was that one spot down on 6th Street. You're like, man, wouldn't that be cool to buy that? And this is what we can turn it into. Right. It's always the vision of bringing in the youth to carry on this tradition.
No, you got to. We have to, because the young generation is what's going to continue to carry this on, this legacy. Keep it going, because we're not going to be here forever. But if we continue to fight amongst each other and put each other down, and oh my God, I'm doing it better than you are, or you're doing it better than, like you said, this could be another subject. But there's so much to talk about lowriding. It's insane to me. But
there's many contributors.
Yes.
There's so many people that have contributed to this tradition, that have made their mark, and there's just so many. I mean, we don't have enough time to,
Right. That's why when we started Streetlow Magazine, I wanted to start it with a different name. I didn't want to call it Lowrider or Lowriding or Lowriders or anything like that. I didn't want to take anything from who we were already, just to create a new name to feed into the industry of lowriding. And before, nobody knew who we were. Streetlow. Who's Streetlow? What's Streetlow? Now, if you don't know who Streetlow is, then you're not a real lowrider. I'm just telling you straight up. You're not into the lowriding. You're just getting into it, because the name Lowrider, of course, it's who we are. Just because we don't have the word, the symbol, that's really who we are. We are a Lowrider magazine, and the crazy thing is that it's something that kind of like people have to kind of like, I don't know, kind of gravitate to it. Like, you have to understand
we're the backyard boogie.
That we are the back. You have to understand that we're trying to create something out of nothing, and we wanted to put our name in there. Like, okay, wait a minute, we're gonna stuff Streetlow in there, and you're gonna have to one day hopefully understand who we are and what we're about. And we're for the people, and we'll continue to do it. I mean, I don't care if you hate on me or you don't, or you hate on any of these guys or you don't. We're going to do what we're going to continue to do. And thanks to Flavio, we're doing our thing here. And you guys are going to meet him one day. He's shy. He doesn't want to be on cameras because he says that, he has a lot of baby mamas out there. So,
You'll see him on the skateboard at the car shows.
Yeah, he's just trying to stay away from everybody because he doesn't want child support. Yeah, he's trying to say he's barely making it, so he doesn't want to make sure that nobody sees him. So when you see him out there, and I gotta get him a skateboard. I forgot. I gotta get you that skateboard.
You see him at the skateboard with a skateboard, a guy on a skateboard.
No, he got cracked. He was going to the house and it cracked. Wow. We went to the show in Santa Rosa. On the way back, he got out of the truck and he got his skateboard out and he pushed it across the street, I guess, and a car was passing by.
No.
Yeah, so I got 2 boards. I got the board.
The board.
I don't know, but I got another one too with the skull.
Is it a Streetlow board?
Well, that one I probably won't give him because that one's. I don't know if you like the flexi. So we have a board. We call it the board. We used to call it the board, and because we have the board. So we used to talk to people like, well, can we do this? And even Tlecu with the models, like, oh, you know what? We can't get you in yet. We have to get together and we have to talk to the board. You got to get the board together.
The skateboard.
The skateboard. The only board, it was me, him, and
because I was riding it. Riding it.
So we on the board we put the board on the board. So we would sit there and like, so what do we think? Should we get it or not? He would bring in girls that are fucking like rocked out. I'm like, Tlecu,
straight
bodybuilding. I'm like, bro, what are we gonna do with that? This chick is like rocked out. He's like, oh,
put me in a headlock.
She looks cool. It's something different. I go, different? I go, that's really different. She has the body of a dude, It was just crazy.
You remember that? She was all buff, man.
Oh, dude, it went on and on, man. There was so much going on in that office. It's insane. But
yeah,
like I said, we're gonna, we're gonna end the segment with this. Thank you guys for listening again. There's, like I said, there's so much to talk about. We're gonna try to bring in some other our other staffs and stuff. People that have been around us for a while, and just talk about their experience and stuff too. But
we appreciate everyone.
We appreciate everybody that has been part of Streetlow Magazine and the family. But definitely, the car show. Don't forget the car show. I'm sorry I had to push it to October 27th, but that's the date. We have it's a $7,500 car hop.
And $1,000.
And $1,000 on top of that for the kids' car hop.
12 and under.
12 and under.
That's by Chole.
And that's Chole is donating $1,000 to that, which is thank you for that.
And one quick thing, Gilbert. Yeah. Congratulations! You're going to be getting an Icon Award tomorrow.
Oh yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, I'm also getting an Icon Award. I forgot about that. Lowrider Icon Award. Thanks to Chris York and them and company for giving me that. But
well deserved.
Yep, I'll be out there Saturday. This Saturday coming up.
14th.
The 14th, yeah. September 14th, and then September 15th. There's so much going on. Tyrone's Malow's gonna be in Elysian Park.
Yeah, you said it right.
Elysian. What are we calling it?
No, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say
Elysian or something like that.
Because this is on YouTube. It's gonna stay permanent.
He was saying Elysian or something like that. Elysian. Where's that at? Elysian Park. And then Tlecu, where are you gonna be at? Sunday.
Depends. I don't know. I probably might come back. It all depends on if I might have potential photo shoots going on in LA.
Okay. There you go. And then myself, I'm probably gonna be rushing back, and I'll be here in San Jose and in downtown.
Well, there's a lot of events too, because there's the El Grito, then there's event downtown at the Cesar Chavez Plaza.
Right. So downtown's gonna be lit. It's gonna be a lit downtown San Jose. So
bring them out.
Come out, and then I'm pretty sure Los Angeles got a lot popping too, man. And once again, I'd like to say thank you guys, and I appreciate you guys supporting us, and I appreciate you guys also. I got a lot of good feedback from the first episode that we put out. Once again, I said thank you guys. We love you, and we'll continue to bring more to you. See you guys.